No, because I can't do that because I'm on Chrome. Unfortunately. Okay. So we're welcome to this. Hopefully you do not give me the copyright strike. And yeah, I think I know why, because all they heard and saw was the video. But for a disclaimer, just so you know, none of these videos are mine. Yeah. I just changed the thing. None of the videos are mine. I'm just reacting to them. Okay, let's get to it. Turn that off. Alright, so it's gonna be a good one.
If you're like me, then you're probably a loser. But what if
Great. Well, 2 seconds in, we're already being called a loser. It's gonna be a great video.
you were also a sleeper agent that just got activated? Man, I've seen better days. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Let's rewind the tape. Yep, lots of explosions and fights, and my girlfriend is Christian Stewart. Okay, but really, this guy's name is Mike, and he's kind of a loser. Though, he's got her, Phoebe, his shining light.
So she's also a loser, being with a loser. That's nice.
Might not have much going on, but they have each other. I wish I was in love. Anyway, he's
Me too. We can only dream.
saved up, got a ring, and planned to propose during a surprise trip to Hawaii. Though, he even screwed that up. You see, he suffers from debilitating panic attacks every time he tries to leave his town. Sus. To make matters worse, on their shameful trip back home, the couple is stopped by Sheriff Watts. He heard they were going to Hawaii and stopped them, literally just to bully Mike. Though upset, Phoebe forgives Mike, understanding that it's not his fault. He can't control it. We cut to Mike at work later at night. He's a humble gas station clerk who likes to doodle in his free time. He concocts tales about Apollo the ape, a butt-kicking astronaut monkey. Jeff Bezos? While he's tied up dating a sign, we suddenly zoom out all the way to outer space. Turns out, Mikey's being watched. We take a trip to the CIA headquarters where we meet Victoria Lassiter, who's reading the script of my last video. Damn, I'm blowing up. Drop a like if you're here before 100K. Anyway, Agent Douglas pops by and gleefully greets his ex-supervisor. Though, she's in a stern mood, probably upset that she got demoted. Then, a phone starts ringing and Victoria is shook. Oh, it's a classified phone. She picks up and a robotic-sounding voice answers.
Story recapped here.
No, wrong channel. The voice informs her that the Wise Man asset is about to be terminated. But we promised to protect them, she says. Unfortunately, the decision is final, but at least he's polite about it. Back to Mike and Phoebe. We see them enjoying each other's company as Mike tells her about the latest adventures of Apollo the ape. Nearby, a car accident has recently occurred. Somehow, someone rammed into this random tree. This prompts Mike to reflect on the deep philosophy of a car running into a tree. Hear me out. You have an object that's been moving for decades meet an object that's been stopping for just as long. He sees this as a parallel for his relationship with Phoebe. He's the tree and she's the car. And
this is Patrick.
Later at night, he holds Phoebe close and apologizes once more for the Hawaii thing. She tells him he loves him, and he ruins the moment. Why are you with this guy? The next morning, Mike is up early to run a secret errand. Meanwhile, Victoria confronts Yates, who she believes to be the one behind the operation to take out her asset. They speak privately, and we learn that Yates was made temporary supervisor due to Kruger's absence. Kruger's the actual supervisor, by the way. Seems the power got to his head, and he's now looking to wipe out the remnants of Victoria's cancel the Wise Men operation. Yates wants his Tough Guys program to take its place. Let's check back with Mike. He meets with his greens dealer, Rose, behind a gentleman's club, though they didn't meet for the usual affair. Instead, Mike has purchased some very powerful and very not legal fireworks, which he plans to use as part of a proposal ceremony for Phoebe. Later at work, Mike prepares himself some ramen before noticing some bandits fiddling around with his car. He steps outside to investigate, and the menacing men approach with ill intentions. Now, before we proceed, let's have a flashback. Victoria stopped by and hit Mike with some Alpha Bravo Beta Sigma Chad Delta code words. Now, this was supposed to activate him, but instead left him confused.
Is that a lyric from something?
She gives it a go a few more times, but eventually gives up, apologizes, and leaves. Now, back to the present. Whoa,
Hey.
Mike turned up. He was like, pow pow, pew pew, even stabbed a guy with a spoon. That's some John Wick shit. He calls Phoebe and gives her the lowdown, which she initially interprets as a joke. So, he firmly insists, No, I really just killed 2 dudes. I'm gonna piss my pants. With great haste, she meets him at the gas station before Sheriff Watts pulls up as well. Yates gets an update on the situation, and in response, sends out 2 more assets, Crane and Laffer, the latter of
And
which
his name
is
is
basically a
Crane.
knockoff Joker. It wasn't that funny. Now, we're at the police station where Mike is being questioned. Suddenly, the main power goes out. The couple is escorted to a cell and released from their restraints. A little thotty pulls up and starts blasting away. Damn, she woke up today and chose violence. Meanwhile,
I thought the glass would be bulletproof. You know, the police station, you're having criminals there. So the glass would be bulletproof. Didn't shatter like a regular glass went out the house.
Laffer storms the cell and a scuffle ensues. Mike is back to his useless self until his inner Chad awakens. He quickly gains the upper hand and knocks a few of Laffer's teeth out. As the couple leaves, Crane says hello. Sheriff Watts shows the audience he's actually a swell guy by cuffing Crane to a chair. With her movement now impaired, she whips out some trickery. Wait! However, my man's got excellent hand-eye coordination. Yeah, you can have that back.
Yeah.
Victoria runs into a bit of an obstacle on her way out of town. Looks like Yate has shut things down. She calls in and inquires as to why there's dudes in hazmat suits barricading the road. He lets her know that shit just hit the fan. She checks up on the police station and finds it in ruins. Realizing the severity of the situation, she calls for some backup. We cut to Douglas texting with his boo. He picks up Victoria's call and is shocked to learn that she's out there wilding out. She requests weapons drop, but he's hesitant to go along. They're gonna box me in and kill me, she says. Reluctantly, Douglas comes around. Meanwhile, Mike and Phoebe head back to his car. So that's what they were doing. They take her car instead and head to Rose's house. Along the way, Mike realizes that he can't remember his childhood. They reach a locked-off bridge and walk the rest of the way. He contemplates about whether or not he's actually a robot with a bioengineered body. He reflects on his now perfect memory, ninja skills, and seemingly endless knowledge about guns and tanks.
Mike, you are not a robot.
Yeah, but how do you know?
Suddenly, Rose appears with a mask and a shotgun. He insists they rush inside.
I ain't trying to die from no monkey disease.
Wait, what? Back to Yates. We find that he set up a base of operations at a local hardware store. He's got a truck full of tough guy assets just sitting there in the dark.
You said as bare bones as possible. You're right.
Oh hey, there's Laffer. He survived and even got his teeth back. Anyway, Rose helps Mike out of his cuffs while he discusses the danger. Wait, what danger are you worried about? Okay. Before he can explain further, his bodyguards arrive. Look at the size of this lad. Tune into the news and see that a deadly virus has supposedly hit the town. This all sounds too familiar. Uh-oh, homeboy's on the news with Victoria.
Inappropriate close contact with several test monkeys.
Things quickly get tense, but Mike offers up an elucidating explanation. I don't know what's happening, but I keep on just like killing people, and there's a chance that I'm probably a robot.
Oh shit.
Rose surmises he's infected and holds him at gunpoint. Bad idea. Like he said, kill a robot. Mike apologizes, returns the gun, and then the couple's forced to quarantine in Rose's basement.
Hey, Rose.
You can just get out easily.
I think I could probably get this lock.
Please don't.
Meanwhile, Victoria receives her supply drop like this is Call of Duty. She gets him.
I want to see that again.
Please don't.
Meanwhile,
Hold on.
Hey, Rose.
Yeah.
I think I could probably break this lock.
Please don't.
Victoria receives her
Not
supply
if there's
drop
a
like
lot.
this is Call of Duty. She gets some heat and some documents detailing the tough guy assets. Turns out they're all either criminals or wackos. At the same time, Douglas receives a call from Yates. He knows what's going on and warns him that his behavior is an act of treason. If he continues, the death penalty will await him. Victoria calls in, suggesting he goes to Kruger, but he relays the same treason message to her instead. Back at the basement, Phoebe looks for a way out while Yates sends out some more assets, this time authorizing the use of poisonous gas. The agents bust in and start icing fools. They come for Mike, but he flips on his hacks. Then, Phoebe drops in to say hello. Mike smacks the guys up while Phoebe puts on the gas. The effects of the gas are starting to hit Mike, so she drags him out. She even manages to pick up a kill along the way. She quickly rushes to the fallen foe and grabs the antidote for the gas. Phoebe pleads with Mike to stay awake while she administers the shot. She explains that the gas shuts off your senses one by one, and if you fall asleep, you die. Wait a minute, how you know that? Mike begins to relive various memories with Phoebe. They hang out, frolic in the flowers, play hide the pickle, and what's this? She got that professional drip. Mike awakens and realizes that the love of his life is not who he thought she was. I've been there, man. He backs away as the emotions overwhelm him, and then a panicked Phoebe reveals the truth. She's his CIA handler and was assigned to him 5 years ago. Wait, so you're not my girlfriend?
Of course I'm your girlfriend.
Not knowing what to believe, Mike runs back towards the car and locks himself in. But Phoebe outsmarts him. They argue, and she promises to never lie to him again. Tensions escalate, and then... Well, this is quite the predicament. While Mike is pinned down, Laffer snags his girl and gives her permanent hearing damage. He knocks her out. His mission is to bring her back alive. Then, instead of killing Mike right then and there, he decides to get a little creative. He douses the car with gasoline, then sets it ablaze. Before the flames can engulf Mike, Victoria shows up. At the same time, Laffer slaps Phoebe awake to give her a front row seat to Mike's demise. She's then taken to the pop-up headquarters and confronted by Yates. She's shocked to see him running the show, and he's sure to rub it in.
And look where you are, under departmental arrest for insubordination, and your face is all messed up.
Meanwhile, Mike and Victoria have a chat. She gives us some much-needed exposition, explaining that Mike was recruited into an experiment at the age of 18. Where the others failed, he succeeded, being the only viable wise man asset. However, it was driving him and everyone around him insane. So, Victoria decided to cancel the experiment and gave him a new life. Unfortunately, that life came with the phobias and anxieties that keep him stuck in the town.
Hey, you monkeys!
What?
Anyway, Yates comes to learn that Mike is alive and he's with Victoria. He calls up our boy Douglas for a drone strike and then tells Phoebe the kid gloves are off. She retaliates and manages to disarm a guard before being apprehended. We get to see Yates' true colors. Real tough guy, huh? A little later, they spot Mike and Vicky headed towards his house, prompting Phoebe to chime in. Mike's a bit slow, but he's not an idiot. He's not just gonna go back to his house. In fact, Mike is an idiot. He heads home with Victoria and says, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna do it in the comfort of my home. Can't argue with that. As Mike enjoys a smoke, Victoria reminisces about how much Phoebe believed in him during the program. Turns out, she was only supposed to help him settle into the town and then leave, but she decided to stay. She left her whole life behind for that good dick. Suddenly, Victoria hears something and goes to investigate. Mike pulls up to find a bad guy and activates ninja mode. A wild shootout ensues as the pair fight against two armed intruders. While all this is going on, a drone is already en route to the house. Victoria shows one of the men her favorite stuffed bear. Then, Mike brushes up on his math as he tosses up a frying pan and calculates the trajectory of a bullet bounce. At the same time, the drone is ready to attack. Douglas just has to authorize it. However, he just lost a game of League of Legends. Okay, but in actuality, Douglas has a functioning moral compass. He even anonymously calls Kruger.
Do you have a minute?
Immediately after, Yates' operation is decimated by Kruger, who calls off most of his men. Now, he's left with his tough assets and a wounded ego. He calls Mike and tells him to come down to Max Good's parking lot. He passes the phone to Phoebe to rile him up a bit. She once again pledges her love and harkens back to the tree story from earlier. I'm the tree, she says. I for one believe she can identify as whatever she wants, because that's her right. Yates rallies up his men and gives them a little speech. You gotta watch out for this guy. He's a trained killer and he will sneak up on us. Okay, my man's is rushing in. He uses the fireworks from earlier as a beautiful distraction and rams into the store. Then, he uses his skills to quickly deal with whomever gets in his way. He takes advantage of everything and anything around him to dispatch the enemies. Wow, Jackie Chan-esque in his ability to beat people up with random household items. Bravo. Then, he gets cornered by two others. However, Mike can jump really high. Unfortunately, he doesn't come out unscathed. Meanwhile, we see that a restrained Phoebe has managed to snag a paperclip. Then, Mike gets shot in the head. But that's okay. He's built different. He uses his final firework as a smoke grenade, then brutally batters the bad guys. As he emerges from the smoke, Yates sends out Laffer. Ah yes, the guy we've already beaten or escaped from twice. Mike hits him with some
boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
Then, they both sit down, too beat up to finish the other off. Phoebe, on the other hand, is full of energy as she breaks free from her cuffs and beats up Yates. He's too much of a wimp for this and tries to escape, but is blindsided by Victoria. He shows her how long he can hold his breath, while she demonstrates her kinky side. Suddenly, Kruger appears from behind and tells her to chill out. Phoebe rescues Mike, and as they walk out, he proposes. She says yes, and then the police give them a present.